Hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan. I am your hostess, and we are out here in the grow out pen with the baby chicks, and as you can see, they have grown quite a bit. Their feathers are filling out really nicely. Their cones are starting to really deepen in color, and they are all in their own little spots. We have some over here in the sun. They like the sun. We have some drinking water from the water feeder, and we have some over in the shade. And we have started putting out two. These are bottoms cut out of barrels that we're using for their feed bowls, and they are pecking away. My husband fed them this morning. They still have food out here. I usually come out and I will give them more food, but this morning it looks like he gave them quite a bit, so we're going to leave them alone. But these will be going to freezer camp before too much longer, y'all. And they are really growing. Probably about 2 to 3 pounds, maybe a little bit more. A couple of them look like they might be 4 pounds. So they will have a good life until we have to dispatch. It's so peaceful out here, y'all. I just wanted to bring you over here and show you that the sunflowers are dying back, and we will be collecting sunflower seeds before too long. And it looks like one of my loofahs has developed, so I'm excited about that. And they are, I thought they were dead, but they have popped back after this long drought that we've had. So that's exciting to see. So we might get at least one loofah out of this. And I'll be sure to collect all the seed from that. Our birdhouse gourds are just about died back, and they're starting to turn in color. And let's see. This one is probably close to being ready to pick. We're going to save the seed from them also. I'm going to come around on this side. They didn't get very big, probably because of the drought, but we do have a few that are a decent size. They'd probably be big enough for the hummingbirds to make a nest in. So if we can get any nest gourds out of this, we're going to do that and kind of draw the hummingbirds in a little more. This is the Amish paste tomatoes, and I'm so glad that they bounced back after that long drought. I really didn't think we were going to get any tomatoes, but we are going to get a few tomatoes anyway. Not enough probably for me to can. But if the weather holds out until mid-November, we might get some tomatoes out of this. And I am excited to have the Amish paste actually growing. That's the tomato that I wanted the most out of my garden. And they're looking very, very healthy over here. These tomatoes are not looking healthy at all. Of course, my husband hadn't been able to get out here to weed because we've been having a lot of rain, and you can hardly see. But we still have plants growing over here. We decided not to pull them, even though the drought was going on. And I'm kind of glad we did, because we do have a few tomatoes hanging on the vine. We still have some buds coming out. And this, I'm not sure what kind of tomatoes these are, because I think they were supposed to be Amish paste, but they do not look like an Amish paste there. And of course they are real leggy and straggly looking. They're not very pretty. And you can see they're just hanging on for dear life at the very tops of the plant. But we have some tomatoes coming out. So I'm pleased with that. We had about 20 plants, and I am really sad to say that we did not get a good harvest this year from the tomatoes. This is our late crop of sweet potatoes that we put in, and they are just now starting to really bloom out. Of course, we've got some color variation in the leaves because we're starting to get cooler temps. And the soil that we bought this year is just full of weeds. Just tons and tons of weeds. And a lot of my raised beds was a lot of weeds. So I told my husband we're going to amend the soil. We're going to try to get all the weeds out of it that we possibly can. We may have to cover this, take the soil and put it in a big pile and cover it just to kill off any seeds that might have fell back into the soil. But when you buy soil in a store, you expect the soil to be pure and clean, and this was not the case this year. This is the example of the weeds that are in some of the beds, and it's not the grass that we grow in our yard. It's not even close to being the grass that we grow in the yard, but mixed in here, I've got butterbean pods that are drying, and I want them all to dry on the vine because I'm saving the seed. And my sunflowers, I'm probably going to get out here today and I cut them down and get these heads somewhere where they can dry because they are ready. For the most part, they're all ready. And some of them, the birds have already been started pecking at them. Like that one right there. And we want to save the seed from these, and we hope to plant more of them next year. But these are bush butter beans, and this bed looks pretty good as far as the weeds are concerned. It doesn't have a lot of weeds in it. And this one has some kind of plant growing in there that we didn't plant, and it is full of butter beans. And our mystery tree growing in one of our raised beds with the sunflowers. And we need to get this thing cut down because it's going to seed. It's got seed pods all over it, and I don't know what it is. But this is our huge sunflower that was so tall, y'all. And you can see some of the seeds beginning to show up there. The bees have just covered this thing. There's another one, another one. This head right here is probably 12 to 14 inches in diameter. But all of these I need to get out here and harvest. My lamb's ear has popped back. This yellow rose is doing so good this year. This is a miniature rose that my daughter's got me one year for Mother's Day. And it is just really showing off this year. I thought we lost it because of the drought. And I'm going to pull some of these seed pods off of the mint that's growing here. And we're just going to let them fall into the dirt. This is all mint. It's a really good tasting mint. Squash has bloomed and bloomed and bloomed, and there is absolutely no squash appearing, and I have lost the majority of the plants. Even though we watered it heavily during the drought, they just were not doing what they needed to do. And my asparagus is reaching the end of its season. Of course, we haven't come out here and collected any asparagus because we want new plants to grow and fill our tub. And I need to get out here and weed. I got a pretty weed growing in there. Just going to show you, this is in our front yard. And these Rose of Sharon bushes are growing just beautifully blooming this year. Even after all that drought that we had, they have just burst into full color and bloom, and they are gorgeous. And the trees in behind them are Bradford pears, and we're going to try to get those down. And this one out here is a Bradford pear, and you can see we've already lost a few limbs off of it, and it is got a split trunk, so more than likely it is going to fall one day, and we don't want it to fall on anybody's vehicle going down the road or fall, and hurt someone. This is another angle of our property, and that green line that you see way in the back, that's cotton that the farmers have planted. This is a sugar maple that's in our yard, and we've got 2 sugar maples, and one of them is going to have to come down. And as far as the eye can see, and this is the very back of our property, and there is cotton starting to form. If y'all can see that, I'm going to raise it up a little bit. Those are cotton bolls. They're starting to really come out, and there's still several blooms out here that haven't turned into cotton yet, but it's going to be a good harvest, I think, for the farmers. We were afraid that we weren't going to have a good cotton harvest this year because of the drought. Get around my fence post. There's some more cotton there. So it's starting to come out. Now cotton, the farmers come out and spray it to force the blooms to, or the pods to burst open, but they haven't sprayed it yet. So we got a little while longer. It'll probably be November or December before they actually harvest this cotton. But it is gorgeous. So if y'all have never seen cotton before on a plant, the cotton does not get tall like it used to get. They used to talk about walking in high cotton. They have genetically modified the plants so much to get a better abundance of growth, and I hate that they have genetically modified it because we're wearing it on our bodies, y'all. This cotton gets sold, and they will make a little profit off of this, I hope. But we're going to continue on down the back part of my property line. And my husband has 2 burn piles back here that he's going to have to get to before too much longer. This ground is uneven back here, so I have to be careful where I'm walking. Let me see if I can pull this back down. There. That way you can see where I'm walking. I am walking actually on the edge of our property back here. And we are behind our chicken coops and our turkey pen. And we got some kind of footprint there. We have wild coyotes. We also have black panthers that come through here, or cougars. So we have to be really careful when we're out and about, especially when you're out in the woods. You have to look up at the trees because the cats will be up in the trees. And I can get a really good picture of cotton right here. Look at those bowls, those cotton bowls. And we're going to continue to walk. We are on 1.5 acres. And I'm just walking the perimeter as far as I can go. And I'm not going to go any further than I can go. But we are right on the cotton, right here at the border of our property. We got some big ant hills here too. Ants have been a real problem this year. And we have reached our property line, and we have a lot of wild blackberries here. This area back here doesn't get cut as much as the rest of the yard because we really do not use this corner too much. It might be a good place to put a garden though. I need to come out here and test the soil. And we have one pine tree growing there, and I forget what that other tree is. And this is the very back corner of our property. Okay, I'm past the big tree, and it is a type of maple, I believe. But this property line, this is still in the back. And we're beside the duck pen. And beside our garden area, so it goes down quite a bit further. My husband has the post put up for the fence, but the fence has not been put up yet. And this is the end of my tour. We're back at the driveway, and the rest of my garden, as you can see, some of the beds had weeds, some of them didn't, and it was just a hodgepodge of soil that we got this year. And this is part of the front yard. So this is our property, and we love it here. It's so peaceful. As you can tell, the birds are happy, the chickens are happy, the turkeys are happy, the ducks are happy, and we are happy.